Something Weekdays at Bernsies, something. Hello. Welcome in, everybody. Wednesday's show, Weekdays at Bernsies. I'm your host, Xander. Packed show, fast show, garbage tournament this week, but other things going on in the sporting world. So we'll talk about it. And as always, coming to you live from Nashville, Tennessee, on the east side. So why don't we get right into it? Because you'd have to be living under a rock to not experience the virtual warfare that has been going on in this week's internet. I guess it's crossed the Twitterverse to the internet. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, I think you might. Every sport now, you can just go in and waste as much time as possible during your job, at home, trying to build a perfect, undefeated team in any sport. Started off with 82-0 in NBA on I think it was this past Monday. Maybe it was last Thursday. Yeah, last Thursday or Friday. And then all the nerds within the sports world saw how addicting it was, and they got into it. There's 17-0 for football. There's 20-0 in football. 38-0 for football. There's 17-0 in college football. There's 34-0, 32-0. College basketball. It is unbelievable the unneeded amount of graphics and distraction it takes to get a man in front of a screen for about an hour. All the while you're negotiating with yourself, this will be my last one. All right, this will be my last one. All right, this is my last one. I swear. It's been pretty entertaining, I'm not going to lie. Keep your gaming consoles. I'm just building. I'm building lineups. We're going old school to new school. And why don't we do a bad radio, bad podcasting? And why don't we do an 82-0? It's the fastest one. I guess we could do a 17-0 as well if you're unfamiliar with the college football one. But I'm going to share my screen. And we're going to go 82-0. First try. Come on. There we go. We're playing classic because it's faster. We are ball knowers, obviously. All right, Detroit 2020s. You. We can take Cade. He touches home on 3. So we'll go Cade Cunningham in Detroit 2020s. Lakers 2010s. See, you see Kobe Bryant's name, but it's 2010s Kobe Bryant. Obviously, you take LeBron. They have him at all 5 positions. So we got LeBron and Cade to start. Pretty good. Next up, Utah in the 90s. Whoa. See, I personally think we go Stockton here. I know Malone is there. 27-10. But 12 assists. Something you can't pass up. Don't shy away from that 15 points a game. All right. Chicago in the 80s. Oh, my God. We got Michael. So we're going to move LeBron to the 4. We get Jordan at small forward. So we have Stockton, Cade Cunningham, Michael Jordan, LeBron James. I mean, this game is going to go. It's not going to give us 82-0 unless we get Wilt from the 60s or Kareem from the 70s. I mean, this is an 82-0 roster. You got the perfect ball distributor for the 2 greatest of all time. And who do we get for center? Spurs. I think this is perfect. We just have to spin the era. As long as we get 90s, 2000s, or 2020s, we're going to get a good center. 2000s, Timmy D. I mean, this is an 82-0 team. They're going to give us like 7 losses somehow. 7 on the number. That is fucking pitiful. John Stockton, Cade Cunningham, Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Tim Duncan. Yeah, I'd like to share some feedback. All right, so that's what's consuming everyone. Go watch on YouTube if you're unfamiliar. That simple of a little game. And then we're going to do one more exercise here. College football. Just to get your blood flowing. Just to get, oh no. College football game. Oh, how do I find this fucking thing? College football roster building game. This is great. This is really great audio here. There we go. Okay. Share this tab. Let's check here. Oh, let me zoom in on this one. Build a team. We're going to go easy. Oh, what the fuck is this? This is the wrong one, folks. Bad. Uh-oh. Oh, no. All right. We're going NFL instead. Touching football. Oh, we got to go Josh Allen. Get the Bills first. Josh Allen at quarterback. All right, Denver. This is interesting. Not many athletes. I think defense. We got to go defense. Arizona. Marvin Harrison. Michael Floyd. Trey McBride. Best tight end in football. Miami. Got to go Achane. The only thing they got. It's a pretty fucking good team, guys. Carolina. Do we go Tet McMillan or do we go risk it? Do we take Dave Canales, coach, and do we risk it? We got to, yeah, we can't go Tet. Not there yet. We got to go Canales, coach, and we get DK Metcalf. What do we got? 15-2. You're fucking kidding me. Oh, man. Yep. And that's what it's like for hours and hours as we see 2 incredible teams we built in 2 different leagues. Definitely should be undefeated, and they are not. So virtual warfare has taken over since the last time we spoke. Risk 'em, wreck 'em. There's something brewing in Lubbock, Texas. Brennan Sorsby ruled eligible by a judge last week, allowed to play while his hearing is going on, and conveniently scheduled to be heard February 8th, 2027, 2027, which would be 2 weeks after the College Football Playoff National Championship. People sharing that on the internet, that would assume that Texas Tech would be in the College Football Championship, that it would be convenient to be scheduled there. Are we just forgetting that Brendan Sorsby is a middle-of-the-road quarterback? He's fine. This is 100% the perfect scenario for college football in the long run, is to have this middle-of-the-road quarterback transfer again, but get paid big up front, to now, and the fallout from this is hilarious, because now all the other conferences are threatening to cancel every single sporting event against Texas Tech if Sorsby plays one snap. So not just football, every sporting event. Texas Tech would get 3 games, because those boys on the front half of the season getting paid to play Texas Tech are not turning that down. Do they just play a full MAC Sunbelt schedule? That'd be hilarious as well. But anyway, ADs across the country are threatening not to play them. And here's the thing. The only reason this is such a big deal is because there's now commitments up front. This would be just a cliff note in past history of, they lose a big transfer, but it's on to the next. Now, you're going to say, well, obviously he's not getting paid all of that up front. Yes, but it took away from the money they already were committing, or potentially committing, to other players that they couldn't. So now that money that could have been allocated, although probably won't be paid out to Sorsby, could not be allocated because the transfer window is closed. So now we have the issue of who gets away with what versus what happened in the past. And that's where everyone's up in arms. Obviously, Ohio State is largely focused in this conversation. It's one of the greatest coaches of all time. Resigned. One of Ohio State's best teams ever. Suspended. Could not play in postseason. Potential national champions. Terrell Pryor's season comes to an end for getting tattoos and selling memorabilia. All while a guy who was betting on his own team, although not playing, and betting hundreds of thousands of dollars, when there ain't many other rules in the sporting world that are more clear as day. Do not bet, especially on anything you're involved with, ever. So the fact we're here and some Texas Tech judge is really muddying the waters, doesn't look like it's going to end well for the Texas Tech Red Raiders. I personally think this is the only line you can't cross. And now especially, granted, he wasn't making that type of money, but now that there's so much money involved, it's like, what's the point? Obviously, you could say that about any crime. But spare me the 2 months of gambling rehab. Spare me all this. Sorsby just shouldn't be playing. Actions come with consequences. And that's tough. Tough way to end your career. But that's the best way that he'll learn. Take the next year, prep for the UFL. Go there, try and dominate the league, go to the CFL. Maybe you can parlay it into, want to use that very lightly. Don't start thinking about parlaying things, Sorsby. But maybe you could turn that into an NFL contract at some point. It's not looking good in Lubbock. Not good at all. It would be hilarious. This is the one time I'd like teams to cancel things. It's a precedent that needs to be set. This is the one rule you can't break. That's all it is. So that's our brief peek into the college football world before we obviously start ramping up. We're only 81 days away, folks, to college football. Whew. Kobe, 81. Gosh, we're going to start breaking down some conference previews here pretty soon. Oh, man, feels so good to be back. Could you imagine if the NFL was in the fall and college football was in the spring? Oh, I think every other league would collapse. This country's so football obsessed that there's no way anything could survive. Baseball, you have to shrink that to WNBA-like schedule. Oh, feed me that. All right. Let's move on to sports that are actually happening. Finals. Before both of them started, looked at a parlay for plus 750 of both finals to go to game 7. That didn't start off very well through both series. Now, the Canes pull away late last night to knock that series up. We've got a best of 3 in the Stanley Cup Finals. Series is knotted up at 2, headed back to Carolina. And then the Spurs dropped 2 at home before taking 1 at the Garden. And that series is 2-1. It feels like the momentum is back on San Antonio's side. Just a lot of weird vibes in New York. Obviously, a ton of distractions in Game 3. Not just the president there. Obviously, the get-in price was the highest for any finals game ever. So the type of fan in the stands is not the type of fan that's going to be making noise like you would see from some other crazy fanatics in the 300 section. They're there for the clout. And it was pitiful. Pitiful. So Spurs tie it up. Got to think that they're going to need to get some production out of Keldon Johnson. Dylan Harper played the most minutes he's played in the playoffs. Was incredible. They're just running like a solid 6 to 7 men. Cornette is ass. He can't play. He just can't. So it goes back to what we were talking about before the beginning of the playoffs. Or I'm sorry, beginning of the series. And it's starting to play out like I was looking to change my pick. I mean, I have the Spurs beating the Knicks 30-1 as the exact choice pre-playoffs. I brought up my worries pre-series because the Knicks are just their dudes. They are grown men, and you could see that it's playing out against just a group of young-ass, up-and-coming stars. They have to cut their teeth. There's no guarantee that the Knicks will win because they're just grown manning them, because there's a freak alien on the other side. Love to see Harrison Barnes just come out as like an Iguodala type. Yes, he's on the bench for the Spurs. There's a grown man. Harrison Barnes still playing in the league. So, yeah, game 4 is tonight. And for my money, I will be betting on the Spurs. I think this still goes to 7. I think we end in San Antonio. It's been pretty solid so far. Just would love to see Wemby more involved on the offensive end. I mean, game 2, not to harp on this, we're already on game 4. But Wemby taking an elbow jumper at the buzzer. You are 8 feet tall. Just go to the basket and let them lob it to you. And if you're at the basket and there's 4 guys on you, that leaves 3 other guys wide open. Wide open. Let someone else shoot. Interesting. Stanley Cup Finals been pretty fucking hectic. Every winning team has been up 2 goals, and the other teams have tied it. The Golden Knights were up 4-0 in the third in game 3. That game went to overtime. The Hurricanes scored 3 in 1 minute on the clock. 3 goals in 1 minute. For scoring with an empty net. And then goes to double overtime, where a completely asinine bounce off the boards ends a game that is just chaos, and the Knights end up winning. Brutal for the goalie. It's what you're taught in hockey, to just get the puck down low, rip it off the backboards if you've got no lanes, and you're going to get a bounce sometimes. And that's exactly what happened. Errant bounce that went perfectly off the goalie's skate from the boards. And that was game. Last night, a little less hectic, but again, 2-goal lead from Carolina. Vegas claws back, ties it up, 3-3 going to the third. Stahl scores from his stomach, take the lead. They never look back. Jordan Stahl having a resurgence. Carolina, I saw 24-3-1 in their last 27 home games. And that's coming from Vegas stealing, was one of those outright losses. So this one is a crapshoot. I think we can see that home ice, you could throw all those stats out the window. Eichel got to step up. Marner's still a favorite to win the Conn Smythe. Carter Hart just has to have a game. Clearly not the strongest goalie that's ever won a Stanley Cup if they end up getting it done. But he just has to have a game for them to get across the finish line. That's really, we keep harping on it. I think that's all it comes down to. Game 5, I still think Vegas is the better team. Carolina will probably find a way to get it. I think we go home, and then who knows what can happen in Game 7. I think Carolina wins Game 5, Vegas wins Game 6, and then we're back in Carolina. Raleigh, of all places, to decide the Stanley Cup champion. There you go. Exact bets if you want to parlay. All right, football. Couldn't get any football experts on the show, so I went a different route. I made a comparison to anything that I know. And so with the World Cup starting tomorrow, 2 matches. USA plays Friday. A lot more matches heat up this weekend. Although I saw England has a friendly today, which is odd. But that's because they don't play their first official World Cup match until next Wednesday. That's why no one watches your sport here. Just absolutely insane. You're having a friendly. I mean, you would have to start absolutely nobody, right? Anyway. Biggest stories have been Europeans that have never been to America are just run around like pigs and shit. Who knew that having access to all the sweetest treats at every corner, fast food, and indulging in a materialistic world could be so stimulating? And there's a couple accounts on Twitter that are worth a follow that are running into all America's greatest items that we have to offer, like Waffle House, Buc-ee's, Taco Bell. Obviously, some of those are across the world, but Waffle House and Buc-ee's are home field advantage for the old US of A. Pretty incredible stuff. So, what do I know best? I know golf best, and I know odds best. So what I'm going to do to put it into layman's terms, I made a World Cup 2026 as golfers. Very sophisticated graphic in front of you for the YouTube followers. Listen, I know there's 48 teams, but there's some really just dog shit teams. Don't need to hammer in on the lesser golfers. So I pulled top 26 teams from the event, and we're going to give you a comparison so you can know, to put it in best terms for you, of what golfers compare to the country. We'll start off with Portugal. Portugal, currently fourth favorite, 8-1 odds. I don't think they stand a chance. I think they're living off the reputation. Maybe the fix is in. But we've got Adam Scott as the Portugal comparison. Just handsome. You got to compare the handsomeness. Probably on the last hurrah. Obviously, Portugal star Cristiano Ronaldo. That's really where we end the comparison. Argentina up next. Now, maybe I should have thought of this on like a matrix level, but Messi, Ronaldo, obviously a bit of a rivalry. Adam Scott, Scottie Scheffler, not a rivalry, but the names do bridge. So maybe that's a connection there. Scottie Scheffler is Argentina. Pretty crazy. Argentina is currently sixth best odds at plus 950. But to be honest, top 6 odds, maybe top 7, are all pretty good when we're talking World Cup type vibes. Anyway, Scheffler, currently the GOAT, defending champion at just about everything you'll see. Hasn't really been living up to expectations this year. Obviously, still a pretty incredible year leading the FedEx Cup. And already has 1 win under his belt, multiple runner-ups. But it's like he's always there as a potential strike, just like Messi. So when we look at Argentina, you have to think Scottie Scheffler is the representation there. Norway, Bryson DeChambeau. Now, we're not going to go toe-to-toe in odds here. We're not looking up and down the odds boards and comparing them to the golfers of what they would be in a major. That's not the exercise. This is what the team in comparison to the golfer is. Norway is 30-1. Not bad. It might be a realistic wager of Bryson, actually. But here's the thing. They've got one lane. They've got a couple other good guys, so be honest. But Erling Haaland is their stud. Bryson, driving the ball, stud. Everywhere else, suspect. And maybe a little bit more worried about the virtual world, a little viral world. Because it went viral that Norway took a team photo in all Viking gear Guys, if I'm a Norway supporter, that's cute if we win. You do that post-win. But that's absolute dog shit for any sort of getting together and prepping for game time. They're worried about YouTube. They're not worried about the World Cup. So get that out there. They're the clout. Uruguay, 65-1 odds. They're not going to win. Got to be honest. This is Jason Day. Extremely strong program from the past. It's taking down some big wins. Was a contender. It's number one. But now, a shell of what they used to be, sadly. But we can all remember greatly that there's still a chance, but potentially just not there to the same level. Belgium. This is a good one. Belgium is Patrick Cantlay. Everyone's favorite dark horse every World Cup. And every time there's the lights come on the brightest, they always fall the hardest. Cantlay, definitely Belgium. Siwoo Kim, Mexico. Mexico has been consistently there. They're always there. However, they can make a deep run or they can fall flat on their face. And the days of Mexico's glory may be in their past. Siwoo continues to be there, but he's just not even close to crossing the finish line. Brazil, Rory. You'd say, well, they should be the favorite then, right? Wrong. They're the most decorated in this tournament. But they're the team that everyone likes to dislike. Call it hating the winners. But the world just doesn't really like what they see out of the person that won all the tournaments, and we just don't care anymore. We just don't want to see you win anymore. Give it up to someone else. The new guys coming in. Rory is Brazil. Ricky Fowler's Canada. He's a sponsors exemption. Canada's a host country. Thanks for coming. You're gonna be a crowd favorite because you're on home soil. But there's absolutely 0% chance that you win a big tournament like the World Cup. Canada's Ricky. Oberg is Morocco. You might not remember, not being a big footballer. Morocco was in the semifinals last time around. They're a young team, 8th in the world, very highly ranked still. But when it comes to crossing the line of winning the big one, they'll scare you, but they won't do it. Their odds to win as the 8th best team in the world, 50-1. Yes, 50. So there you go. Croatia got her up. I love it. Croatia still has Luka Modric. They went to a World Cup final just 2 World Cups ago. Not this past one, but the one before. So they can be there. They have the potential to strike at any moment, but hasn't crossed that threshold yet. Got her up, can get there. Can he put it all together? Love it. Japan, Sam Berns. Listen, they can put together some runs. They can flash. They could show you some wins, but they're not going to cross the finish line when it matters. And that's Sam Berns. He's going to be flashy. Great putter. He's going to drain some putts that will make your jaw drop. Japan will put together some plays that'll make your jaw drop. But they're not going to lift the cup. Sam Berns. Wyndham Clark, Saudi Arabia. This is pretty, what's the word? Self-explanatory. You've got one that perpetuated multiple strikes on one of our sacred grounds. And another one's a country that is continuing to throw money and split golf. And Wyndham Clark also splits golf on certainly fandom. He's the new Patrick Reed. He's a lightning rod of any sort of attention. And so, I think it's most appropriate that, and he can get a big win. Saudi Arabia, if you remember, Saudi Arabia did beat Argentina, who went on to win the World Cup last time around in the first opening game, just like Wyndham Clark won a Mickey Mouse U.S. Open. But the chances of them beating another team like Argentina or him winning another major, very, very slim. Netherlands, Xander Schauffele. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Quote-unquote boring team. Ranked number 7 in the world. They've been to a final before. They can get it done. But they're not gonna wow you. But before you know it, they're in the final, and you're like, well, can the Netherlands get this done? Yes, 100%. And that's Xander Schauffele. USA, another self-explanatory, Tommy Fleetwood. Obviously, home team, home country. Going to be a heavy fan favorite at the World Cup this year. But when it comes to a full tournament, the largest tournament the World Cup's ever been, there's absolutely 0% chance this USA is going to win. Now, if you say we could shrink the tournament size down to like an equal of like a 30-person tournament and just like really, really shrink it down, like maybe like the USA in the Gold Cup. Now, maybe that's something that the USA could win, like Fleetwood. But if we're talking full tournaments here, there's no chance. Ecuador, JJ Spawn. Just a team that no one expects to do anything. And then next thing you know, they're in like the final 8. And they're just kind of ratting around. Egypt, Matsuyama. They have one of the best players in the world. Hideki, when his game is on, can be unbeatable. But Salah's aging. Egypt has a couple other guys. They can contend, but they're kind of on the outside fringe edge. England, Colin Morikawa. A long time ago, England was good. Back when no one was really watching the sport. Morikawa wins when no one's really watching the sport, aka attendance. And quite frankly, not many people want to see him win. England or Morikawa. Just saying. So I think that's a perfect match. And then you have France, Jon Rahm. Loads of talent. The favorite. Right there with Argentina and Scheffler. I think Rahm at France is because he can be a little whiny at times. And then the comparison of France, kind of whinging a little bit. I think the similarities go deeper than soccer. So Rahm in France, great. Big chance to win. Germany and Koepka. If you're unfamiliar with this German team, a lot of the names you grew up with, they're old. They're gone. A lot of new guys. Similar to Koepka's putter. In rotation, trying a lot of new things. Still very viable to come up and win a big one, but much less chance than in years past. Has certainly gathered a lot of trophies from their past. But Brooks and Germany are going to need to click on all cylinders. They have the talent there, but they're not the favorites anymore. Ghana, Alex Noren. This one made sense to me. Ghana's like 14th in the nation or in the world. Huh? Yeah. Alex Noren is like 20th in the world. Huh? Guy's never won. Ghana's never won. These are two guys that you're just like, what are they doing here? What are they doing here? España, Spain, the favorites. Basically, they're with France. It's Cam Young. They got the youth. Their youth is big time up and coming. Yamal is the favorite to win the Golden Boots. Spain is a dangerous team. Getting hot at the right time. And Cam Young, obviously, one of the hottest golfers in the world, having a tremendous season, winning the Players, winning at Doral, and becoming a perennial favorite at every major he plays in now. Iran. Justin Rose is Iran. We've got 45 years of a thorn in America's side. Just comparisons of someone that's just agitating America and getting victories. Now, are they going to have what it takes to get that overall victory on the biggest stage? No. No, they're not. They always fall just a little bit by the wayside, a little too close for comfort, but in the end, always come up a little short. So Justin Rose is Iran. Ayatollah of Roseola. Korea, Minwoo Lee. I don't want to hear the comparisons. Stop. Minwoo Lee is Korea because this team is electric. With Son leading the way, they've got a ton of top-tier league players, and they could be a dark horse here to make a run, not to win. And see, that's where the comparison to Minwoo comes into play. How many times has Minwoo been on your card? The dark horse at the PGA, at the Masters, fun, great round, followed by 76. He's out. South Korea cruises to the group of 8. They run into a team like, I don't know, Argentina, and it's a 5-1 loss. That's all I'm saying. Switzerland, Sepp Straka, they're just there, and they can pop up. Switzerland's like 19th in the world. Straka's just like randomly popping up, winning events, and then just kind of fading away. Switzerland's always just kind of a group play darling, and then just kind of fades away. And then Shane Lowry with Turkey. Turkey, 22nd in the world, actually. Another thorn in America's side. Turkey's in America's group. Going to be a headache to certainly oust this Turkey team. And Shane Lowry is quite a headache for the Americans whenever they go head-to-head. So when it comes to comparing golfers to World Cup teams, we spun around, but we got there. And I think these are all pretty accurate. So go ahead and bet off of my analysis on which golfer you like the best to win. And maybe this is the year something crazy happens. Like 50-1 Oberg / Morocco. Comes back and wins it all and shoves it right in my face. All right, fun exercise. I thought so, at least. Now we're on to the RBC SORREY up north. One of the worst courses they can present to us. It's bullshit. They're at TBC Toronto. Just a birdie fest. Just a fucking not a tournament that should be played for your country's national championship. That's all I'm saying. So let's check in our season. We lost 10 units last week, but we're still up 116 units, 116.7 units. As you can see on the screen with Rye, wins by Rye, Woodland, Nico got her up twice. Boom. This week, pretty interesting. We've got both the Fitzpatricks towards the top. Brooks is playing again. Back, finally. Morikawa's back. Morikawa and Hovland are back. So there are some big names in this field, but big-time asterisks because we have no idea what's going on with those guys. Prepping for major next week, getting good swings in an actual tournament on an easy course would make sense. Less taxing going back to back with the U.S. Open on what's going to be the most difficult course they've played in a few years. Shinnecock looks absolutely devastating up there. Can't wait to get into that and all that the course is built. But yeah, Fleetwood's up there in our model as well. There's a couple guys that stuck out, and we're just going to jump into the card since we're about 45 minutes in. And maybe if I can click the card here. There we go. And here's the thing. I like the middle of the board this week. I think the top end of the board with Fitzpatrick. You think Fitzpatrick's winning 4 this year? I mean, I know that's a irresponsible way of betting of like, do you think this person's winning X amount? But in golf, I mean, that's a reasonable question. So it goes Fleetwood, Fitzpatrick, Berns, Clark. Talk about Vegas just kind of protecting themselves on a wave. Oh, man. And then Morikawa, McIntyre, Wrighton, Rose, Koepka, Højgaard, Hovland. And then gets down to guys like Lowry, Rye, Noren, Bridgman. Hot start to the season, really cooled off. This could be a potential bounce back for him since he putts the fuck out of the ball. I would not be surprised to see Bridgman in a Sunday pairing close to the top of the board, but everything else he's kind of leveled off. So I went middle of the board. Each way 3 places. You know how it works. Bet 365. I got Bobby Mack and Nikolai Højgaard at 45-1, respectively. Brooks at 50-1. This is the time. This is the time for him to pop where he can just dart everything in there. Especially on a course that's par 70 with only 2 par 5s and 2 of the easiest par 5s. So those are going to be level. So you've got 16 holes of dart throwing ability. I like Brooks's odds. One guy that popped, Canadian, our boy Yellow Wolf, Shooter Sean Yellow Miraju. He's got it on the card for 110-1. We got to take a shot with him. And then Putnam, 125-1. And Taylor Moore, 200-1. It looks like those last 2 guys, just to kind of give you where my head's at. they line up a couple categories. Like Moore could just give himself opportunities from his off the tee alone. Off the tee and putting have been the two biggest strokes gained categories here last year when they played. And Moore's that type of guy, can be big off the tee and just overpower the course. Putnam, he's putting the lights out recently and overall. So I'm taking two different guys from long distance that have two different profiles. When it comes to places, we love our places. Alex Fitz keeps it rolling. One of the hotter golfers on the tour. Follows up with a nice 65 on Sunday last week. Beauty. He's plus 320 to go top 10 with ties. Doug Gim stat profile lines up pretty well. We got plus 240 with ties at top 20. Hadwin top 20, plus 520. That would be my Canadian pick to kind of be a longer shot to not contend, but finish up there on top of the leaderboard. Hoagie top 30. He's been putting together decent rounds. We need 4 of them. Just decent for top 30. And then Ewart, another Canadian, plus 142, top 40. If you did parlay all those and did a little round robin, 965 to 1 for those 5 legs. Alex Fitz, top 10. Doug Gim, top 20. Hadwin, top 20. Hoagie, top 30. Ewart, top 40. One buyer beware here that I want you to know is do not chase Canadians. Took 50 fucking years for a Canadian to win, and it was on a 70-foot putt. Had no business winning that tournament. Fleetwood choked. And Canadians are, they're middle of the road. Maybe Shooter Sean changes it for us, because he was not in the conversation before. But they have really kind of, if they're middle of the road golfers and you get to your National Open, it's going to be more pressure that they're not going to be able to handle. Don't like the Canadian angle. First round leader, Taylor Moore, Jordan Smith, Doug Gim, and then Bryce Garnett way down there, 260 to 1. If there's a dart to throw, Garnett can pop a 8 under and then fire 75s the rest of the week. Like those. And no birdie all par 5s this week. The odds are absolutely ridiculous. Plus 140. I mean, even bogey free per day. Let's see. What was that? Maybe I'll add some bogey frees. Yeah, Fleetwood's plus 300 to go bogey free in round 1. Bogey free is tough, man. To only get plus 300 is ridiculous. Like, what course are we playing? They played Munis on. They played Harding Park, or not Harding Park. Yeah, Memorial, or the Houston. The Muni. Bogey odds were crazy. So yeah, there's the card. Scottie Slam we'll talk about next week because it's his first shot. It's our boy's first shot at a Grand Slam. And so Scottie, dude, what the fuck? Where's my cursor? There we go. So Scottie's going for it. The year after Rory gets it done would certainly be a delightful accomplishment to fans here. It goes without saying that Scottie did go viral last week for ripping into Ted Scott. I don't see the problem with it. We've got thousands and thousands of shots from Scottie, thousands of shots from other golfers. Where is the issue with lighting into your teammate? It's not his fault he's mic'd up or a mic is nearby. Like, these are things that happen in sports constantly. And I doubt he knew it was something that would go viral or that would be picked up the entire conversation and put out there to the public. The type of person that he conducts himself as certainly is not that type of person. So I felt like he was portrayed in a negative light. And to the people that say he is whining more and bitching more, you don't watch golf. And to be honest, you don't appreciate greatness. And so all of the negativity will be saved. The receipts will be kept. Scottie's return to glory. He's already still dominating this season. Will be met with ferocity. That's all I have to say. I think it was reasonable, just kind of middling, and then of course finishes like T12 at a tournament he won. So now the last 5 years, it's third, first, 12th. I mean, that right there is like $10 million for 20 rounds of golf. That's it. It's pretty fucking good. So Scottie, love the enthusiasm, love the passion. Have some fucking passion, people. And so we already saw the final card. So that'll wrap up our show. Major coverage next week. God, I'm looking forward to it. Number 3 on the year. And USA will have already played. The easiest match, Paraguay. Knock on wood. So that, and then we might have 2 new champions from each league. So a lot to talk about Sunday night, release Monday morning. Thanks as always for the support. Like, subscribe. Please tell a friend. And I'll see you guys on the 82-0 servers. Love you. Bye.